Welcome to This Explainer. Look, right now, AI processing power is literally doubling every few months. It's advancing at this staggering exponential rate. But human emotional evolution? Well, that takes millennia. I'm absolutely thrilled to dive into today's topic with you, because we're looking at one of the most profound dilemmas of our time. Beneath all those flashy headlines about automation and processing power, there's a massive, mostly unseen gap. It's the gap between our rapid technological acceleration and our lagging emotional readiness. Basically, humanity is hurtling toward advanced AI way faster than we're socially or philosophically preparing for it. So let's just pause and really ask ourselves, is humanity actually emotionally prepared for superintelligent AI? The challenge here isn't just an engineering problem. It's not just about whether we can build these systems. The real question is whether human psychology can truly adapt to living alongside entities that consistently outperform us across, well, pretty much all intellectual domains. Are we ready for that? Because right now, there are incredibly strong reasons to believe that we are definitely not. Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the core AI paradox, technological speed versus emotional readiness. We're essentially building super intelligent systems without putting any of the social or philosophical frameworks in place to manage them. We're racing ahead with the math and the code, but kind of leaving the human emotional ecosystem in the dust. And this brings us to a really crucial concept: psychological displacement. This is the insecurity, the loss of meaning, and the deep identity crisis we experience when machines consistently outperform our intellectual abilities. You see, the disruption AI brings isn't just an economic issue of lost jobs. No, it's a profound psychological shock to our very foundation. Moving on to Section 2, the human identity crisis, when machines outsmart us. To really grasp the severity of this crisis, we have to look at how deeply and for how long we've tied our self-worth directly to our intellect. For centuries, we've associated human intelligence with status, power, competence, survival, and sheer superiority. Think about it. So many of us define our personal worth right now through our expertise, our creativity, our ability to solve complex problems. It's the core of how we value ourselves. And superintelligent AI challenges that exact foundation. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive collision we're facing. On one side, we have the cold, incredibly fast capabilities of machines. They're going to write better, diagnose better, strategize better, and code faster, discovering new things at a pace we simply can't match. But on the other side, we have the consequences for humans: insecurity, loss of meaning, identity crises, and social anxiety. When the very things that used to make us feel special and necessary are suddenly done perfectly by a machine, the psychological fallout is going to be very, very real. Adding fuel to this psychological fire is a fascinating concept called anthropomorphization. This is our human tendency to attribute emotion, intention, and consciousness to systems that are really just mimicking conversation or empathy. We are wired to connect. In fact, back in the 1960s, a computer scientist built a basic chatbot named Eliza. People knew it was just code, but they still poured their hearts out to it, forming genuine emotional attachments. If a rudimentary script from the 60s could trigger that level of vulnerability, imagine the risks today. As AI becomes highly persuasive and emotionally adaptive, we face a dangerous reality of emotional dependency, manipulation, and confusing a program simulation with a genuine human relationship. Which brings us to Section 3, our digital track record, a history of delayed reflection. So, how have we actually handled these types of tech disruptions in the past? Well, honestly, not great. Humanity already struggles immensely with our current tech. We're battling attention fragmentation, addiction, outrage cycles, crippling loneliness, emotional exhaustion, and just widespread misinformation. Social media algorithms alone have shown us exactly how vulnerable our psychology is to validation loops and tribalism. Think about that for a second. If relatively narrow social media algorithms can already manipulate billions of people and cause this much emotional damage, imagine what super intelligent systems will do. The psychological impact will be vastly greater. History shows us a really distinct, almost frustrating pattern here. We almost always adopt technology way faster than we examine its consequences. Industrialization reshaped labor long before societies could adapt. Social media completely reshaped human communication well before any ethical norms matured. And smartphones? They rewired our attention spans before we even understood the psychological effects. AI development is following this exact same playbook: rapid deployment, delayed reflection, and then, eventually, reactive regulation. Our emotional adaptation is just fundamentally slower than our technological change. Let's move to section 4, the fear of irrelevance, the existential threat of automation. Okay, let's slow down for a second and address the biggest elephant in the room, the fear of irrelevance. As superintelligent AI disrupts our jobs, our education systems, and our social hierarchies, we are facing some serious existential economic anxiety. And why is that? Because work provides us with so much more than just a paycheck. For a lot of people, it provides the essential pillars of a meaningful life: structure, dignity, purpose, status, and social belonging. If AI weakens these traditional roles faster than society can redefine meaning, we lose those vital pillars. And when people lose dignity and purpose, emotional instability across society is absolutely guaranteed to skyrocket. What makes this even wilder is that we're introducing this incredibly disruptive force into a highly precarious environment. We live in a world that is technologically interconnected, sure, but deeply morally fragmented. Humanity currently lacks any sort of global consensus. There's no universal agreement on AI governance, surveillance limits, digital rights, or the boundaries of machine autonomy. We are still deeply divided by ideology, geopolitics, economics, religion, and cultural values. Dropping superintelligence into a world lacking global consensus, that is a remarkably dangerous combination. All of these fears ultimately boil down to one deep existential question. What happens if humans are no longer the most capable beings on Earth? What happens to our civilization, our religions, our philosophies, and our whole sense of human exceptionalism? I mean, throughout all of recorded history, humanity has been the star of its own show. We've occupied the absolute center of our own narrative. Superintelligent AI could challenge that profound narrative. When we aren't the main characters driving capability on this planet anymore, where does that leave us? Now, let's shift to section 5, the ultimate human advantage, meaning over optimization. Now, what's really interesting about this is the profound, completely unexpected silver lining. The rise of AI won't make humans obsolete. Actually, scratch that, it's going to make distinct human capacities increasingly valuable. Things like empathy, wisdom, ethical judgment, courage, meaning-making, spiritual reflection, and emotional authenticity. Sure, a machine might be unbelievably powerful, it might optimize outcomes flawlessly, but optimization alone doesn't answer the truly important questions. It can't tell us what is actually good. It can't tell us what is just, what's beautiful, or what makes a life meaningful. Those remain deeply, exclusively human questions. We really need to embrace a new paradigm shift here and separate the domains. Let the machines have optimization, speed, pure capability, and intellectual outperformance. That's their lane. The human domain, on the other hand, is dedicated to meaning, wisdom, emotional authenticity, and ethical judgment. This rule of contrast is absolutely essential. Optimization, strictly for machines. Meaning-making, strictly and forever for humans. So, to summarize the true underlying danger we've explored today, humanity might be intellectually capable of creating super-intelligent AI way before we're emotionally prepared to actually coexist with it. The greatest risk isn't simply that AI becomes powerful. No, the greatest risk is that our human institutions remain completely immature, our emotions remain highly exploitable, and our wisdom fails to evolve anywhere near the speed of our technological capability. I want to leave you with this final, chilling thought directly from the source material. The central challenge of the AI age may therefore not be technological. It may be civilizational maturity. As we push the boundaries of what machines can literally do, we have to look in the mirror and ask if we have the wisdom to handle it. Are we mature enough as a civilization to survive our own brilliance? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you next time.